Hello, and welcome to a special episode of Let's Talk About Life with Life Bank. I am here in the city of Warrensville Heights at Rival Barber Lounge with my fans and my friend and my brother, Aaron Turpin, the owner and best barber in the city of Cleveland, as you can tell. And so we just glad to be here, have a conversation today, an open conversation about the importance of organ, eye, and tissue donation, and really to educate, hopefully, you, our listeners and our viewers, about some of the truths about donation and encourage everyone to make donation a discussion with their loved ones, with their family and friends and co-workers. And so I have with me today one of our brothers in the greatest fraternity of all time, greatest fraternity in the world, the Omega Psi Phi Fraternity Incorporated, brother Fordham, and really appreciate you, brother Fordham, for spending some time with us today. How you doing?
I'm doing well, and I appreciate your invitation to allow me to come and discuss this very dear subject to me and really to a lot of us. So I'm here to support and do whatever you need me to do.
All right. Well, we appreciate it. We appreciate it. So let's jump right in.
Okay.
So you are a transplant recipient, and so can you share a little bit about your story?
Yeah. Yeah. I received a kidney transplant on Saturday, August the 19th, 2023, at Cleveland Clinic. Um, I had been on the transplant list, and I was placed on a transplant list in January of 2023. Um, I was at about 17% of kidney function. I got several what they call standby calls over the summer um, as a second recipient of one kidney. And if the person who was ahead of me didn't want it, I would get it. And so I went through about four of those over the summer. In fact, one day I slept in the garage of the clinic waiting to be called because it was a long process. I missed a day of work, but all in all, I wasn't called that day. But on the 18th of August, I was called and they said, Michael, we have a kidney for you. And I said, okay, is this another standby or is this the real deal? And the nurse said, this is your kidney. So my response was, jokingly, always the bridesmaid, but never the bride. And we both chuckled and laughed. I went back to work. Um, Speaking of the fraternity, I serve as a chaplain for the fraternity in Cleveland, Zeta Omega chaplain. So I was just finishing that day an Omega memorial service at a local funeral home. And I was getting in my car to return to work because it was during my lunch break that we had this service. And when I got off work, I hadn't heard anything from the clinic. And so I began my Friday routine. I ran a few errands, and at 8 o'clock, I was in the midst of purchasing a new phone um, from the phone store. And they put the SIM card in the new phone, and the first call that came on the new phone was Cleveland Clinic, telling me, and this is at 8 o'clock in the evening, telling me I need to be at the clinic in 1 hour.
Wow.
So, of course, I had my celebration in the AT&T store. I told the salesman to put that SIM card back in the old phone, and I'll see you when I see you. I purchased the phone.
Wow.
I purchased the phone, and I got to the clinic, and they admitted me at about 9:07. I've been on the blood thinner, so they had to get the Coumadin out of my system, and they took 12 hours to do it, and I got transplanted the very next morning at 9 a.m., Saturday the 19th.
That's awesome.
But that's the awesome part of the story, and then I was there for 48 hours. Came in on Saturday at 9 and left out on Monday at 9. Yeah. And so But they said, I what I did on Sunday, I said, do I have to lay in the bed? And they said, no. You feel like sitting up? I said, yes. So I sat up in a chair and I said, do you mind if I walk? And the nurse said, you can walk. So I used my IV pole as a rollator. And I just pushed myself with that. And about 2 hours later, they came in and they told me, Mr. Fordham, you're going to be discharged tomorrow.
Wow. Oh, wow.
And I said, I never should have got out of the bed.
Yeah,
But they
it looked like you
discharged
were doing
me.
too good.
They discharged me on that Monday at 9 p.m. and that was 48 hours. And everything has been great since.
That's awesome. Yeah. That's awesome. So before, in comparison, after your transplant, how did you feel versus prior to, like health-wise?
Health-wise, I was fine actually. I walked 2 miles 3 days a week.
Mm-hmm.
I did have some discomfort in the area of the old kidneys. I noticed that I had that. I began to get a metallic taste in my mouth where I had to douse my food with hot sauce so I didn't taste the metallic, whatever it was going on. But health-wise, I was pretty good. I knew that I needed a kidney because I was getting shortness of breath. My vital signs were pretty much not so much off the chart, but they were in question. And so all of these things they told me at the clinic I'll begin to experience as my kidney function lessens.
Yep. Okay. So once you got word that you were in need of a kidney and you got the call that was about to happen, what was one of the biggest things that you were looking forward to after that will kind of come out of it?
Well, after I got the call and I got the kidney, I was just so thankful.
Yeah.
Because I have a son and a daughter, and I have 4 granddaughters, and that's what I was looking forward to, being part of their life.
Yeah.
And spending time with them, FaceTiming them, ages 14, 12, 8, and 3 years old. So I say to people, I have 4 graduations to attend, and the youngest student is 3 years old. So I'm just hoping.
Yeah.
I'm just hoping. But I'm so glad I got the transplant. If I could just digress for 1 second, this story really started with me back in 1997 when my second oldest brother, we called him by his nickname. His name was Didi. His name was Calvin, and so we called him Didi growing up. And Didi was born with 1 kidney.
Oh wow, okay.
And unfortunately, Didi passed away at 44 years old on dialysis.
Yeah.
And then back in 2000, my oldest brother had a stroke, and his name was Hershey, or is Hershey. He was our oldest brother. We're about, I think we're like 5 years apart. And Hershey had a stroke, ended up with kidney failure, ended up on dialysis, and he passed away on dialysis. And so I knew when I found out in 2016, my first nephrologist told me that within the next 4 or 5 years, you're going to need dialysis and/or kidney transplant.
Wow.
And I just knew I didn't want to go on dialysis because my brother shared with me, for lack of a better word, the trauma that they experienced on dialysis. They shared that with me, and I just knew I didn't want to go on dialysis. And so, but my nephrologist, my current nephrologist, told me that if you don't get it done, it's going to be difficult. It's going to have to go into my chest or my neck. And so I went in and I had the fistula put in.
Yeah.
but it didn't work. My veins never accepted it. And then that was in March of 2023. And by August, I had a kidney.
Wow.
So I just wanted to thank you for letting me share that.
Yeah, definitely. I appreciate that. Appreciate that. So, we've all heard the stories about, rumors about organ donation, especially in the African American culture. Right now, there are roughly about 28,000 African Americans on the waiting list, currently waiting for a life-saving transplant. We know there's 12, a little over 12% African Americans make up 12% of the U.S. population.
Right.
For our culture, historically, there's been a lot of medical mistrust. Feel that COVID, a lot of people feel that COVID kind of rolled back the hands of time regarding that. In your opinion, what do you think it still contributes to, that medical mistrust today?
Mainly because of, and very specifically, because of the healthcare disparities in the African American community. I mean, it's no mystery.
Yeah.
And that's what contributes to it, in my opinion. And we can go back as far as Brother Charles Drew, when he went to the hospital and couldn't get service, and he ended up passing away. Couldn't get treated. So it seems like when it comes to our community, we can't get what we need. We can't get what we need for our health care. We can't get what we need for our sustainability with regards to the proper food. All the things we want, we cannot get. And it's unfortunate, but it's just the healthcare disparities. And that's why I appreciate folks who have the men's health fair and other activities for us to go and get information on. But it's just the fact that we're just left out of the system in terms of our health care. Yeah. And then other things that contributed to us is we are what we eat. Yeah. What we put on our system in our bodies is a direct result of what's going on with us. I my own little model is, I eat to live. I don't live to eat. Right. There was a time that I would okay, but today we have to change our habits. We have to change things. One of the things I did is I began a plant-based diet more recently. Since I want to say Holy Week of 2023. Okay. Yeah. So pretty much a plant-based diet. Okay. And that's what I'm working on. And not a vegan, but just a vegetarian.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Thank you for sharing that. So when we talk about organ donation, especially in the African American communities, one of the biggest things that we hear is that, I'm afraid to be an organ donor or to register to be an organ donor because if the doctors know that I'm on the registry, then something were to happen and I were in an emergency situation, they wouldn't work to save my life. That's one of the biggest, perceptions. Right. What do you think we could do to help possibly change that perception?
Well, I'm an organ donor, and I believe that I believe that doctors will try to save us, but we can save so many other lives by donating our organs versus allowing them to not be donated. Yeah. The truth needs to be clearly explained to all of us, both in our community and other communities, that this is to save another life. This will help save, organ donation will help save another life. But yeah, it is a perception that, you're not working to the fullest extent of the medical profession. But doctors took a Hippocratical oath. Yeah. It's incumbent upon them to work and do what they need to do until they have to tell us that they can't do anymore. Yeah. But at the end of the day, brother, I'm going to tell you something. As you know, we have another higher power. Okay? We have the ultimate physician. Yeah. And he determines life and death. Yeah. Not the doctor in the emergency room or the operating room. Yeah. That's all.
Yeah, I thank you. I thank you really for sharing that. I really thank you for sharing that. So do you know anything about your donor?
Yeah. I believe he was like 49 years old.
Mm-hmm.
I believe he was a big guy, and I'll tell you why in a second. Um, and from what I understand, it was a motorcycle accident.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I've been walking, and I was walking really since they kind of like said, okay, you can walk because walking is the best thing for you. And I was telling my coordinator, I said I've been walking, but and I'm losing weight, and I feel my muscle mass coming back, but I can't lose my stomach. I'm not losing anything in my stomach.
Yeah.
And she said, well, did you get a chance to look at your kidney? And I said I did. Dr. Reed told me to look over to my left before I went into surgery to see my kidney, and I saw it. And she said, well, we put a large kidney in you.
Okay.
And so I don't know if it's going to go back to where it was,
Right.
your stomach. I said, okay. So you gave me a XL when I could have used a medium. So I told her, I said, well, guess funny. What? I'm not exchanging it.
Right.
And I'm not returning it.
It's there now.
It's there. And it's working fine.
That's
and it's working fine.
Right.
Yeah.
That's good. So if he were here, or if he had the opportunity to watch this recording, what would you say? What would you say to him?
I would say to the donor that I'm sad about your passing, and I would say to his family that I thank God for you all donating his organ, and I got a kidney, and I will never forget this in my life. I will always remember this this gift, this favor that God showed on me to give me a kidney without having to go through dialysis, and getting the kidney within 10 months. So I just count it all joy. When I meet with my this Friday, I meet with my coordinator before I believe I'll go to about every 6-month visits. So this will be the opportunity now to send that letter to the donor's family.
Okay. Yeah, that's great. That's awesome. Well, Brother Fordham, again, I greatly appreciate you taking the time and sharing with us your story and how your thoughts on what it is that we can do, to possibly change the perception of many minds regarding organ donation. And so it's my hope that this recording today and you spending time with us today will be sort of a call to action. We are hopeful that those of our listeners and viewers will go to lifebank.org. And that's lifebank, BANC.org, to sign up to join the Ohio Donor Registry to be an organ donor. Say yes to help us save lives. And so you can do so also at your local BMV. And just talk to your family about your wishes. And we're hopeful that the conversation will continue to go and spread to family, loved ones, friends, co-workers, neighbors, anybody that we encounter. So thank you all for joining us on this special edition. I'm Edmund Wilson, filling in for my workplace bestie, Colleen Gerber. And thank you again. Thank you, Aaron, for opening up your shop. Appreciate you.